Okay, everybody, and we are live. Let me just real quick double check that the actual microphone volume is fine. 1 second, it's about to turn up. All right, we should be good now. Okay, I will leave that there. Perfect. Okay, I think we're in business. We are good to go. So, with that being said, welcome to the Tier 2 weekly live stream that we do for the Tier 2 members. And I'm going to jump right into it. Usually, the way that these things work is for the members that aren't able to make the time that I announced for that week. I allow them to leave any of their questions that they would otherwise ask me on a phone call or, if they were here in the live stream. And that way I get to it at the beginning of the tier twos live streams, and then they can get their value that way. So they kind of get their coaching that way. So I'm going to start with the questions that are left for those that won't be here. Sorry, I'm just adjusting the microphone. There we go. And we're going to dive into it. Okay. So we're going to let people trickle in meanwhile. And hello for those of you that have joined. 1 second. Let me adjust this real quick. And I got to move the chat over here. Just let me get it nice and easy peasy to see. All right. And next thing's next. We're going to go to my channel, look at the post, and bada bing, bada boom. We should be good. And there we go. Okay. Let me open it up. I saw that there was some questions of some people left, and I'm excited to answer them and read them out loud. Okay. And by the way, welcome those of you that are trickling in. So let's dive right into it. And those of you that just joined, by the way, feel free. Like I always say, take advantage, ask all the questions you need. Don't feel shy. This is exactly why I made the membership. And yeah, anyways, let's get to it. Let's see. And sorry if my lips are super shiny. I had to put on some Vaseline. My lips are messed lately. They just keep breaking. So, okay. Let me just adjust this over here real quick, and we will do that there. Okay. First question is, thank you, Michael. Glad to be part of your membership and glad to have you here, by the way. And hope you're doing well. I'm doing well. Thank you, by the way. And I hope you're doing well as well. How might we overcome intrusive thoughts of current reality that pop up whilst fulfilling ourselves for a few seconds? I only fulfill myself when I'm hungry, but I'm also hungry a lot of the time. Okay, great. Honestly, I'm literally the same way. I'm hungry a lot of the time. A lot of the time, whenever I am serious about manifesting something, uh, I think about it all the time. That's the truth. It's always in the back of my head, but I don't always feel like fulfilling myself. So there's like and right, like that's very specific how I said that. Remember, it's always on my mind or in the back of my head, but I'm not always fulfilling myself just because it's there. I do have sometimes moments that, yes, I do wish to fulfill myself. And in those moments, yes, I am going to then plant those seeds and do what's needed for that, for that desire that popped up. And there's going to be times where I'm then thinking of the goal, but I don't really feel like planting a seed. I don't feel like identifying with whatever it is I'm thinking about. I'm just aware, oh, I'm thinking about it. And for those moments, I don't do anything. I don't force it, right? And then in your situation, right, you said intrusive thoughts of current reality that pop up. So in your situation, if I'm not mistaken, I remember correctly. It's a couple things going on, but it's very serious because it's in your face, especially with the selling of the thing. I don't want to give out too much because she's a client that I've worked with, and I just don't want to dox them or in case they're people in their lives watch this. But I understand that these are your pressures. And like think about it, right? You are let's just say let's just throw out the law for a second, right? If the law isn't real and none of this works, then technically you're screwed, right? Technically. But the reason a lot of people find the law in their deepest moments is because there's a chance they might not be screwed. So kind of look at it like this. If you're going to be screwed either way, and if and let's say we now add in the law. So if the law states by focusing on being screwed and feeling bad and worried and XYZ, and they said this or this is happening and I don't want this to happen and blah blah blah, and worrying about the future and things that even haven't happened yet, knowing that this is going to screw you over pretty much, right? Does it make sense to at least not give yourself a fighting chance and to doesn't it make more sense to instead be like, wait a second, at the very least I can see how this goes. And when you have that perspective of, look, I'm going to be screwed if I don't do this for sure, so I might as well just apply this. And to be honest, that's kind of what helped me in the beginning. Is I kind of looked at it like that as well, and it might help you. And just keep in mind, right, when you get those ideas of those intrusive thoughts, sorry, and of all the things that I know are bothering you, you have to realize you can be screwed either way and just let those intrusive thoughts pop up, which is fine that they pop up, but it's what you do with them when they pop up. If you react negatively and worry and spend the whole day anxious, then you're praying for negative things to happen, right? You're not sending out the signals needed for the souls to play the roles of that you want them to play. Instead, you're sending out signals for the souls that are going to instead prove to you that you were correct in fearing and worrying about the worst, right? So when you have those, like when you have the understanding of like, look, if I don't do this, I'm definitely not going to get what I want. So I might as well at least test this because there's a chance I can get what I want. And at least play with that at the beginning and then go to the next step, which is okay, the ideas of the things I don't like pop up, of current reality pop up, of all the negative circumstances. In my opinion, this is something that I do. You don't have to do this the exact way I do it, but it's just to show you I like to kind of look at it like, okay, I see that I don't like this. And I understand that by looking at this thing that's currently an issue and then reacting to it negatively again and again and again and again, and being upset at it time and time again is going to keep it longer in my life and reflect that I don't get the thing that I want. Does that sound like something that I want? Yes or no? And for me, logically, the answer is always going to be no. And it pass by really looking at it like that, it really puts it into the back of my head of don't keep doing this stupid stuff because it's going to make sure you don't get what you want. So for me right away, it's a lot easier to take a step back and say, wait a second, if I really don't want this, I have to make a decision to say, look, I've seen how the life has played out in my life, right? And look at your life as an example. Look at all the things that are happening in your life, right? I'm sure if you go back, and we've done this on our call, right? If you go back and you really start thinking of the days and weeks leading up to all these things happening, remember I asked you, I said, were you filled of lovely things, days and weeks leading up to this constantly? Was it so natural to you that this is who you are? And obviously the answer is no, right? And right there, I ask these questions to people to get them to realize it, because I don't want to just tell them, oh, you did this, and that. I want them to see why this, and that happened. And when they start realizing, oh, wait a minute, you know what? I could see that I was focusing on XYZ. I could see I did have these beliefs. I could see that these beliefs got reflected. So now that you kind of see your own portfolio of good and bad, doesn't it make more sense now to be like, wait a second, let's now apply what created the good and bad, but now for this thing. So when you start looking at those thoughts and you realize those thoughts of your current issues, your continued reactions keep them alive, and you realize the silliness of keeping it alive, especially if you want results sooner than later, then does it not make sense to actually just observe and let it pass by and not identify and react to it negatively? Because that's what you should be doing, right? Because I promise you, if you keep doing what you're doing, I promise you with all my heart, like you're gonna get the things you don't want, and you're gonna end up in exactly where you're focusing right now. And if you end up in that reality, I want you to just take a step back and remember, wait a second, Michael warned me about this. And then if you end up in that reality, because I'm gonna view you as someone that doesn't end up there. But I'm just talking hypothetical. If you end up there, remember this moment where I said, hey, if you continue this focus, it might reflect exactly that way, right? It might keep the things that you fear might come for you. It's like it says in scripture, right? What I fear for most has come for me. So when you realize putting your focus on something the most that's negative is going to come for you, then it doesn't make sense. So just remember, you're at a crossroads now. You can literally choose to be the version that doesn't end up in that situation I'm talking about, and your trajectory is going to completely change starting now because you've listened to this advice and you realize, okay, wait a second, it doesn't make sense to keep fearing the 3D and then expecting a better result. I have to make a decision as an adult. I'm going to live by the law and observe the 3D through understanding that I'm a soul. This is my personal reality. The 3D reflects me. Everyone is me pushed out. What I identify with sends out the signals to all the souls that need to play their roles, and so on and so on. And if I react negatively again and again and again to the 3D, I am sending out the signals that keep things the same. And when you kind of shape your own way of looking at it like that, it's a lot easier to deal with your 3D. So I kind of hope that made sense. Sorry for the blabbing. Honestly, you could ask me that question every day. I'd have a different answer for you, a different explanation. But that's the one that higher self has inspired me to give you today. So I hope that helped. And if you have any more questions, just let me know. Okay. Let's see. 1 second. Hello. Oh my God. Chat is going, chat's doing well. By the way, I forgot to say, if the camera goes black, like if the screen goes black or like I disconnect or whatever, just hang tight. I'm going to then swap over to my webcam and I'll be back within 5 minutes. It should take only 2, 3 minutes roughly. but just give me up to 5 minutes. Like I'll come back if it's before like the stream's done and everything. The only reason I say this is because I'm actually recording this on my proper camera, um, the one I do my videos with and everything, and I have a fan blasting it today, like right now. So in case it overheats, then it's gonna turn black. So if you see me disconnect or just stop talking and the screen goes black, just know that means the camera overheated because I forgot to open the window as well and turn on the AC. But especially in the winter. But what's it called? Then yeah, just so you know, I forgot to leave that out there. So just don't be shocked. If the thing goes black, I'll be back within 5 minutes. Just stay here, and that just means I'm swapping cameras. Okay. Let's get to the next one. Hey, Bruce, how you doing? I don't have any questions today, so I would just follow the cool mental diet reminders. Awesome, good stuff. Let's see. Walla Jen Mindset. Hey, Michael, how are you, Jen? Nice to see you. Ash, nice to see you, Ash. Let's see. Good evening, Michael. How are you, Valentin? Nice to see you. Does Neville say anything about speaking things into existence? Is it important to say certain things out loud to manifest it? I mean, he does say that there is an importance on your focus, and where you place your awareness and what you identify with and stuff like that. Sure, but he doesn't really say like, oh, you have to say things in order to manifest it. That's more of like a limiting belief. Um, that one can choose to kind of limit themselves with, right? Neville knew that in the end, like imagination is what you got to play with. So when you know that imagination, sorry, let me just fix this. When you know that imagination is what you got to play with, and one second, and why is this? Oh, that's why I didn't tighten it. Sorry, this thing just kept moving, and I was like, "Why is this moving on its own for a second?" There we go. It makes sense. And when he describes imagination, he kind of tells you to play with it in a certain way. He taught you, to visualize that vividness, all these things, all these senses, and eventually he just tells you pretty much find your own way, right? Like he gives you ideas. So in other words, right, speaking something into existence, if you believe that because I said, I'm going to be rich or I'm rich, therefore I'm speaking into existence, and now you believe that, and because you believe that that's going to come because you keep doing this, now you're in expectation because you're aware that's who you are and that's what you have. Then you're technically applying the law, you're applying the concepts of the law or reality to your benefit. But just know, you know the cause was never speaking it into existence or speaking a word. You could literally have just as much as an impact saying nothing than saying the loudest thing in the world. So just remember that it doesn't really matter what you say. It's, are you identifying with what you're saying? This is why so many people, for example, that are in the community where they simply spam processes all day, whether it's affirming all day, whether it's scripting all day, whether it's pick whatever technique and you just spam it all day with just pure effort and no identification with it. You're gonna find a lot if you interview, let's say, 1,000 people doing that. A lot of them are gonna have little to no movement, and the ones that do give movement and results, some of them, yeah, it goes well because they really do change, but they don't really know why they changed or how they changed, and therefore they can't replicate the results for every single thing in their life, and therefore it's like a gamble, right? And a lot of people will lose the results, right? Because they never really changed. They put their focus on something, and then once they got that something, they went back to their old habits, their old mental diet, and therefore things have to be changed because of that. And you'll realize there's a common denominator between all these people that suffer, and including, and it's not to say that people that for example, you know only identify with the technique when they're hungry, it doesn't mean those people are going to be 100% perfect either. There's people that manifest the way that I teach and the way that the books teach, because I really just teach how the books and the greats teach. I don't teach my I just teach through my experience of using these concepts. But even if you do it like Neville's way or Seth's way, or it doesn't matter whose way you follow, or you make your own, there's still going to be some not, I don't call them failures, because it's not like you failed. It's just you haven't changed yourself, right? What you're doing isn't working for you, right? So when you kind of realize like, okay, what is the common denominator between successes and failures? And you realize it's a person that really changed themselves. They kind of changed what was natural to them. And when they change what's natural to them, then guess what? The world reflects it. So that's why a person that's affirming all day, even if they don't know the law and they get results, they're applying the mechanisms without realizing it. They're focusing on their goal. They're feeling the wish fulfilled, whether they admit it or not. They're happy about their life. They're expecting the best. All these lovely things. So just make sure that you have fun on your journey and that you don't kind of try to, choke things into being done a certain way. It just, what matters is, what do you feel like? What are you aware of? And that's what matters. And by the way, I do have a client call to get to. So I'm gonna try to wrap it up about 5, 10 minutes early, maybe 15 minutes early. We'll see, so I can prepare my notes and stuff. But so far, I think we're good on time. Oh yeah, it's on the corner now. They changed it. We're 50 minutes in. Hopefully, so far so good. I don't see any temperature warnings on my screen yet, so looking good. We're looking good. Um, 1 second. Let's see the next thingy. Oh yeah, I forgot. I have to answer one more question real quick before I get back to you guys. Okay, Jeremy, can we honestly really manifest a SP who is already in a relationship? This is not an ex. Is there anything from Neville and or Seth pertaining to this that can shut up my doubts and fears on this? 100%. You know what? Let me just double check something real quick. I just want to make sure I didn't miss out on a um I did okay, no, I didn't miss out on that. Okay. So let me get back to the question. Okay, so manifesting someone, an SP that's already in a relationship, and you said it's not an ex. So 100%, whether it's an ex or not, it doesn't matter. Literally doesn't matter. Okay, that's the first things first. Can we honestly really manifest an SP who's already in a relationship? 100% yes. And I will explain to you how this works. And man, if only you guys like seen the things that I've seen, you guys wouldn't ever worry about this stuff. Um, so Ooh, and this is a whole morality thing. So some people might hear what I'm about to say and they might get triggered. They might think I'm a cold person. They might think the law makes you cold or whatever, but just understand there's a deeper explanation to all this, okay? So morality. I don't talk about this openly because in my opinion, I just don't have good beliefs about the general population when it comes to like the law, right? A lot of people from what I've seen and because I've seen it, this is now my belief, just a lot of people are lazy. A lot of people don't read, so they don't really know how law operates. So when you say certain things like I'm about to say, they get, you know, um, offended or scared or something, right? But remember, I have to be aware as a person that teaches the law. That is just my focus. That is my belief. That is my expectation. And I'm well aware that I'm using the law against myself in that manner. The only reason I haven't really sat here and changed my view on that is simply because I don't care. It doesn't affect my life negatively. I don't have a desire to change that right now. Perhaps I will when I manifest the bigger things that I'm working on right now and I have nothing else to do and I'm just sitting there and I really want to fix the little things. Sure, I'll probably do on that. I'll work on that. I'm still young. I have many years to make mistakes. I don't have to be perfect at 34. So, with that being said, what I'm going to say is remember, this is just from Seth and Jane Roberts directly. And just a reminder, if the screen goes black and the camera shuts off, that just simply means that the camera overheated and give me up to, a few minutes. I'm going to just connect my webcam and finish the live stream that way. Okay, guys. So don't be alarmed if the thing cuts off. Okay. So I'm saying this for the ones that joined that weren't here earlier for the warning because I'm using my other camera, the one that is prone to overheating. Okay. So can you manifest someone in a relationship? Yes, because morality doesn't exist the way you think it does. Okay. And what I mean by this is, let's say I'm manifesting an SP and let's say she's in a relationship, right? If she's in a relationship and she's cheating on him with me in any way, right? Whether it's emotionally, physically and emotionally, you name it, doesn't matter. And she's doing that behind his back. Let's look at what is being applied in terms of the mechanisms of reality of the law. Okay. So how does this happen, right? Is her partner the one that is the victim? If you said yes, your understanding is wrong. Am I or the girl I'm manifesting a victim? If you said yes to either, your understanding is not quite there yet. It's okay. No one's a victim. Every single person has consented to this in some form. So here's how it looks. Let's say hypothetically the person that I'm manifesting that has a boyfriend, let's say their boyfriend has really crappy beliefs, whether she's aware of it or not. Because the fact that she's cheating with me, as an example, shows that they do have bad beliefs. Otherwise, they wouldn't be cheating, right? That person wouldn't be getting cheated on. So, right away, the way co creation works is that person, the boyfriend, has certain beliefs that would allow themselves to send out certain signals to my SP that makes them want to cheat. And because my beliefs and my mental diet then sends out the signals, which get received to both of them, right? And his perspective, maybe he gets ideas of like, I'm not good enough. Michael's so much better. Blah blah blah. She was happier with him, or she will be happy with someone else. It could look like that, and he might consent to these things, right? Because of his bad beliefs, and therefore he's pushing out her to then cheat, so that she picks up these ideas from him and me, and then just like that, she's then has with her free will gets to decide. And now you might be thinking, oh no, he said the word free will. What if she doesn't want me? Don't worry about it. If she doesn't want you or he doesn't want you, there's a reality. That just means you're in the reality where with their free will, they don't want you. That version is like think of it like, I'm not saying they're fake. Just think of it like this. When you program a robot and you only teach it to do XYZ, that thing will never do anything outside of XYZ because it's not meant to be out of XYZ. That's what your version is. They are just a version with their free will that will never love you because that's who they're supposed to be. So what that means is there's realities where there's versions of them that they do want to be with you. So when you're manifesting an SP, as an example, that's in a relationship, when you focus on being loved and in that relationship, and you're really happy and you're really focusing on just being the boyfriend or being the girlfriend, your SP is going to get all these signals and these urges. And trust me, I've confirmed this with people that I've manifested, and I've got feedback from because they know manifestation as well. And trust me, they get urges. They miss you. They have intense feelings of missing you. They might even feel disconnected from their partner here and there. It could be so many different things. So you trust me, there's so many things I've heard and seen. You guys would not like, it's insane. So trust me, they're getting everything. So all three of us are technically in that situation. To explain your situation, we're all co-creating together. His bad beliefs mixed with my good beliefs, mixed with her free will, which puts me in the reality where she does the things that I want. Therefore, we're all co-creating. And when we all die, we're going to know the truth. And we're going to thank each other for teaching each other these lessons. So, yes, you can manifest someone in a relationship. You have to focus on the version that is really already in that relationship. You have to feel loved. You have to be aware of being loved. You have to be that person, that man or woman that is love. Every time you think about them and you're craving them, you celebrate being with them. You remember, keyword remember, you already have them. Not in a delusional sense of, oh, the 3D already changed. No, from the perspective of the 3D is what it is, but I understand, I feel it internally. And because I'm making this natural to me until it reflects, I know it's on its way. And that's why I can celebrate, because I'm identifying with creation is finished. I'm living by scripture. And that's how I want you to look at it. Okay. So yes, you can manifest it. It doesn't matter who's in the way. It doesn't matter who they're dating. Trust me, if you're willing to die to your old self, there is nothing their SP can do to stop you from having your person. In their reality, they may never break up with that person, but in your reality, they will. That's how it works. We all have free wills, unlimited versions, unlimited possibilities. You just have to place your awareness on the possibilities that you want to push out, that you want to reflect. I know a lot of coaches will say, because I get so many clips from not you guys specifically, but from people that watch my channel, and they say, Michael, this coach said this. They send me emails and clips and timestamps of stuff to watch. And sometimes I click it and I'm like, let's see what they're talking about. And if it's a consistent topic, I'll then watch it here and there, because that way I can explain to people in the future to save us all time. And I know that there's always coaches and people that will say different things, right? And it's not with bad intention. No one means to misguide anyone. But when you hear things and you're new to the law and you're afraid, and you hear things like, oh, manifestation is instant, there's no such thing as a time delay, blah blah blah. It's like, okay, but those same people are not manifesting everything instantly, or anything instantly for that matter. So how, like, where's their lack of delay? And so, like, that's why I say you guys got to study the books, because the books explain to you how reality works. It explains that yes, things can be manifested instantly. Things can materialize instantly. But you have to have the natural beliefs to do that. And a lot of the times we don't have the natural belief system, which is why techniques are used as a way to then change the belief system to make it natural to us. And then it reflects. So yes, the process of once it's natural, it reflects instantly. Yes, that's true. But getting it natural, that part is not instant. And anyone who says otherwise is just either misinformed, or they just, in other words, they just don't know better, right? And it's not their fault. But just understand that. And I think that's a very logical perspective. And I think no one really could disprove me on that. And I'll stand on that. Like this live stream, I'm probably gonna put it public. So if anyone wants to disprove that, please, like, I'm open for open discussion on that. But think about it, it's logical. You can't argue it. It's not a debate. Because anyone that wants to defend the opposite viewpoint, I would simply say, guys, like let's be real. Let's teach the world something together. Let's not argue. It's not a debate or anything. Let's just have an open conversation where we all benefit. So if one side is saying this, the other side is saying this, let's see what's true. And if I'm wrong, I'll gladly admit it. But anyone who's saying that there's no time delay, prove it to me. Show me, show the world, show us how to do it, show me how to do it so I can teach the world, right? But no one's doing it because it's not instant to change your beliefs like that. Sometimes you can, yes, but nobody knows what they can do like that instantly. It's just something you do. Just like my friend when she had what's it called? Like intolerance to gluten, I think it was. And she ate a bunch of pasta and stuff and she forgot. She just made a decision she's not gluten intolerant anymore. And to this day, she's never and instantly she had no side effects, no reactions. So like that worked for her, but she had no idea it was gonna work like that. It's just she had no resistance to it. That's why, right? So just keep that in mind, okay, guys? Let's see. Whew, let me catch up. That's a lot of yapping. I'm so sorry. I get a little excited. Let me sip on my little sippy sip. I love how I call it my little sippy sip. Give me one second. Oy. What the hell is that over there? Oh, sorry. Okay. I'm surprised. We're at 26 minutes in. I don't think I see a temperature warning on the camera, which is rare. Usually it has it around 30 minutes. Oh, that's good. I guess the fan's doing its job. So yay. And for those that tuned in, again, just a quick reminder, if the screen goes black and I'm not done the stream, just hang in there for up to 5 minutes. I'm just gonna switch the cameras. I'm gonna put a different camera and finish the stream that way. So I just need to restart the stream in order to do that, but it'll be here. Okay, so don't worry. Let's see. And it's so funny. This camera is so expensive, but it overheats, and it's famous for overheating. And the new one, they made a newer one now that apparently kind of fixes it. I might even just buy that, but I'll do the research. I got to see if it's worth it. Let's see. Thank you. So basically, it's okay that it pops up. I just have to not react or dwell in it, which I think I'm doing. Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's okay to observe it, right? Like think about it. If I'm manifesting an SP, right? Or I'll use Jeremy's example. They're manifesting an SP in a relationship, okay? So if I think of, let's say I'm manifesting the same thing. If I think of my person and the fact that they're in a relationship, right? Right away, I recognize, okay, this is the truth. This is the reality I'm in. This is just the facts for now. From that point forward, I don't have to react to anything. I just recognized I became aware of it. And right away, I understand. Like in the back of my head, it's not something I have to walk through. Like I know already, hey, if I react to this negatively, I'm going to keep them happy together. And for me personally, like if I'm manifesting someone in that position and I'm willing to dedicate like dying to my old self, and that's like my number one goal, like I already know like I want to screw things up. Like for them as bad as that sounds, but remember, go back to my morality little discussion. We're all learning, right? So for me personally, like I want to shake things up and I want to do things right. So for me, I know there's no benefit in me just sitting there and being upset and dwelling on it. Remember, if I'm constantly aware that this is my life, because remember, every time you're aware of the problems and the things that pop up, and your perspective is this is my life, this is my life, that's what you're affirming to yourself without realizing it. You're infecting yourself with that. So just realize that, that's why things don't change for people that do that. That's why I say, like, think about it. You have let me let me change this. You have to look at how you're investing your time. And if it's consistently all day on the negative, then it makes sense that nothing's changing. And that's why I love the law. Like you can't BS the law. You can't lie to the law. That's why I love it. It's so fun because it all connects. It all makes sense. Like there's no one can ever give me a situation where something happened where I can't explain it through the law. More importantly, I can meet anyone in the world and they can tell me all their life's problems and their good things too in their life. And I can tell them exactly what they believe and what they focus on in their mind. And it blows people's minds when I do this, especially when I do it at the gym in the sauna. And like someone complaining about money. And I just start asking them questions. I'm like random guess here, but you focus on like the lack of finances a lot? Like do you actually emotionally react to it a lot? The idea? Yeah, all the time. Da, da, da. And right away I just start smirking because I see the evidence of the law already, right? So that's why I love the law. You can't fool it. So I love it. Let's see. Pops up sometimes I know me because I love being in my desire. Yeah, but keep in mind, Chai, like it's not about holding a state either. If you're trying to hold a state or your perspective is that you have to hold a state, just remember that that's it's not wrong. Like that's more of manifesting through a different way. It's more like law of vibration type of teachings because vibration is all about holding the vibration. In other words, the frequency, blah blah blah. Same, they're explaining the same thing, state just with different wording. But law of assumption is more about returning, right? Neville found that, wait a second, if I return to something frequently for just a couple seconds at a time, it's going to then reflect. It becomes natural to me and reflects. So I don't have to hold this. I don't have to constantly hold this idea or these feelings. I can just tap into it when I feel like it. And then the rest of the time I observe and let the negative ideas pass by without emotional identification with them. Right. And when you start doing that, that's when things get fun. That's when life really starts happening through you because you start becoming the actual reflector. You start becoming the selector of realities. And that's the thing that so many people don't do, right? They select the negatives again and again and again and again. And then they say to me, Michael, why is nothing changing? I swear I'm embodying states and I'm planting seeds and I'm doing so well, Michael. Why doesn't it change? And then I sit down and ask them the same questions. I start picking up. I let my higher self guide me on what questions to ask, but I always ask questions. And these questions force them to really evaluate their mental diet. And they always end up admitting, oh, I kept focusing on the issue. You know what? I kept reacting to this. I kept focusing on the third party. I kept focusing on the SP, what they weren't doing. Sorry, my nose is getting stuffy. I kept focusing on XYZ and returning and reacting to the bad. So then I simply will say, then doesn't it make sense that this is your life? Isn't that actually empowering when you think about it? I felt XYZ for a certain amount of, times, moments. And eventually that XYZ got reflected perfectly. So imagine if I do that for good stuff, the same mechanisms have to apply then. Wow, that's exciting. Oh my God. Right? I would like to happily announce I'm no longer Shattered Band Success Story. Yes, congratulations, Ash. You are now no longer shadow banned. You are literally a success story. Congratulations. Congratulations. Now, if only you could be a success story that isn't a clown anymore, right? Once you can stop being a clown, then you will be the real success story. So the question is, are you ready to stop being a clown? So if trying to manifest it doesn't feel good, you're not doing it right. You should always be in a good or neutral state. I don't wanna say in case she's screaming, "I knew you would say this." It's so funny. Uh, hey, if you knew I would say this, then why are you putting your expectations and your assumptions like that? You should be viewing me as like a very, "Oh, he's so sweet. He's always saying the nicest things. He's always giving the best advice, X, Y." That's how you should be viewing me. Instead, this is you. "Oh, he's gonna say the worst things ever, da da da." And then when it happens, you're shocked. Come on, see what I mean? You're literally being a clown. This is why we have these little conversations. See, it helps. Uh, and by the way, I talk like this with Ash because I've known them for a while. That's why. Okay, so trying to manifest should feel good. Oh, sorry. If it doesn't feel good, you're not doing it right. You should always be in a good or neutral state. Okay, so what I will say is, I don't want to say that you should always be in a good or neutral state, but at the same time, it's like it doesn't hurt, but it should be done through understanding. You see, when I apply the law, especially when I was new, this my brain is very logical. I just looked at it like this. I said, look, if i- if I want to get results, and I at this time I wanted my ex girlfriend back, and I had no clue if she was with someone at the time. I needed money as well to impress her because I want to be able to give her a life that I couldn't at the time. So I knew I needed certain things, and finances was one of them. But I knew I wanted her back too. So you guys know my story. I got my finances first, and then I manifested her. And you know, in that situation, I made sure. Sorry, give me 1 second. I just want to, because I see a bunch of new questions. I just want to highlight here before I forget, so I don't miss the next one. 1 second. So, anyways, in that situation, I look at what I was doing, and I was, I really was either neutral or the only emotional reactions I had were all positive. That's the truth, right? So for me, give me 1 second. Okay. So for me, when I look back and I reflect on, like, okay, let's look at the graph of like how I was feeling internally. let's see what shows up on the graph. It literally looks like a straight line and then like spikes upward, which is fulfillment. So it was literally a straight line upward, straight line upward, straight line upward. Like it goes like that the whole time. That was my day every day, nonstop, just straight upward, straight upward. In other words, neutral, positive reaction, neutral, positive identification, neutral, embodying the state, neutral, embodying the state. And when I had negative thoughts pop up, I would just stay neutral because I would observe. I'd look at it like, and I'll just keep my hand here, but I just looked at it like I'm God observing this idea that's floating by, and if I react to this, I'm not gonna get my girlfriend back. So right away, I was like, hell no. All right, see you later, idea. And just like that, I got out of sight. And then when the next time she popped up and I felt like reacting, I reacted positively. Right? The text that we got back together, the first date that we're back together, announcing that we're back together, all these things up, 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 up. That's how it looked like for me at the beginning, right? And and that's why I say like it doesn't hurt to be neutral and feel good, but I don't want you to also like force and suppress your emotions because that's also doesn't help either. Do things through understanding. So for me, I was logical. I knew I didn't know anything. I didn't think to myself, let me study someone who doesn't study the books, the greatest minds to ever exist. My brain doesn't work like that. My brain goes, who are these people all over the internet or whatever? Who do they study? Because that's who I need to be studying. And those people, who did they study? And eventually you trace it back to the greats. And and that's why for me, I went to I try to learn from the best. So that's why for me, I stuck, with certain authors and I went everywhere searching for the best information I could find, what made sense. I took the best and I threw out what didn't resonate. And I just compiled my own way of doing things. And it was very fast to do. It wasn't hard. I just read every day and I enjoyed it. Because how the hell could you not enjoy freaking learning the secrets to the universe? Are you kidding me? Like, what the hell's wrong with people? Like, you should be looking at it like, holy crap, I can literally get everything I want by just understanding things. It makes everything easier. Wow. So that's why I say it's like, don't worry, about doing everything perfect. Just do things through understanding. That's why the more understanding you have, the easier it is to observe an idea. For me, I have so many reminders in my head from all the things I read that it's easy to look at an idea and know what to do. But to a person who just discovered the law and their only information is watching TikToks, well, when they have a negative idea pop up, you think they're gonna know that they're a soul and what value a soul is? No. So therefore, they don't even believe when they say that they're worthy of love because they don't even know what the hell a soul is. That's why I teach you guys from the scratch, and that's why the things I'm working on right now, the projects, are gonna fill in the gaps. Like I'm trying to create, I don't know how to explain it, like little, not mini me's, because everyone's unique. I want you all to be yourself. I want you all to be unapologetic. I gotta say the word, unapologetically yourself. There we go. It took a little time, but we did it. And I want you guys to just do things through your own way. That's why I teach concepts, because when you understand, like if I say, hey, if you react to this thought, it's going to become your future. Your brain can interpret that in whatever fun way it wants, but live by that sentence in your own way. And when you start doing this, you guys, like that's why I want to like structure the future content and what's it called, and kind of like really do things intentionally. I think it's time now where with this channel I start really refining things, the teachings and everything, and really structuring things. I want by the end of the year to be able to have information out there where everyone here, you know, looks at things in a similar way, but still through their own unique perspective, where they can deal with the 3D. They know what beliefs are, they know what causes thoughts, they know all these things. So therefore they know how to react to them. Whew, 39 minutes in. Wow, we're doing good. I'm surprised the camera's still going. All right. I guess that ain't overheating for now. Let's imagine it turns off now. That'd be hilarious. All right. Let's see. Let's see. Hold on. Michael, do you like reading scriptures like the Bible, Quran, Hinduist, or Buddhist? Um, and interpret them. To be honest, I do read scripture sometimes. It's not like my main sources of information are always like Seth, Jane Roberts, and Neville. I go between those two because it's really Jane Roberts and Seth. I just do the same, even though they're different. But anyways, um, through I bounce through those the most. Of course, I sometimes branch out to different authors that I go back to, right? There's certain authors I love going back to. But my core, like if I was stuck on an island, I could bring two authors only. It's Jane Roberts and Neville. Those are my two that I would stick with for me. And in doing so, sometimes for me, I read scripture on the side because Neville will talk about something regarding scripture, and then I go find it, and it's interesting, and I get into it a bit. And I also like to just interpret it in my own way. Regarding the Buddhist stuff, like Seth actually was asked, what he was asked what religion is actually closest to being correct. And he answered the student asking, and he literally said, technically Buddhism. But he's big but because like he cut people off there because that's not the real answer though. He says the issue is technically none, but if he had to give an answer, it would be Buddhism. And he explains because the ancient original teachings were actually closer to the truth than any other religion. But he explains over the centuries, just like all religions, they've been corrupted and mistranslated so poorly to the point that those teachings are not even close to the truth anymore. So, you know, like that. So that's coming from Seth directly. So in general, it's like that's why I don't really read the Buddhism stuff because I just don't know what's authentic, right? I'm sure I can find out if I really dedicate my time to it. I just don't have an interest for it right now because honestly, like if I was born knowing how to read at 1 years old, and I started reading from 1 years old, I could study Neville and Seth's work until I die, and it's still not enough. Like that's how much there is, and like a whole lifetime, 3 lifetimes is not enough to get all the perspectives you can out of the same literature over and over and over again, right? So that's why for me, it's like I have so much to do before I even dive into like more other religions and stuff like that. I still have so much things to kind of see for myself. But just in case anyone's asking or wondering, by the way, because I know some people might view it like, oh, so he must be Christian if he only likes reading scripture. I just want to clarify, I don't identify with any religion. I don't view any religion as correct or like the best one, in my personal opinion. I could like I don't view life that way. I just know God exists. I know what source is. I know what I am, and I don't limit it to a certain one religion or things like that, right? I view things a little bit differently. I'm more open. Um, I knew you would say this. I have done better the past few days. Give me my credit. Okay. Okay. I only had to slip up last night when I was worried about it, just never reflecting again. Oh, that's so funny. Oh, it's never gonna reflect. Yeah. And I mean, as Seth says, you get what you focus on. There is no other main rule. So what are you focusing on? Any tips on how to visualize? Oh, sorry, any tips to visualize without the old man popping up at all? Not sure if Neville had some of these during his imagination and ignored them. He doesn't talk about it, which leads me to think he was perfect. He was far from perfect. Trust me. Nobody teaching the law is perfect. That's what I like. The more you study the law, especially Seth's work, you realize no one's here to be perfect. You're not gonna find some guru manifesting like this, like bop, 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 just things out of thin air 24/7. Every single thing you tell them, it just boom. You're not gonna find people like that. We're not like we as souls didn't come here for that easy life. We came here for a challenge. There's a reason why. Where there's evolution. That's why people that struggle with love, often it's self-worth that they need to reevaluate themselves. People struggling with money, there's obviously different beliefs that they need to then work on to revalue themselves as well in a different aspect, right? And that causes growth and evolution for the soul forever, and that gets passed on for all future lives that you incarnate or experience. So just look at it. That's how I look at it, at least. Let's see. Oh, sorry. And as for visualizing, to be honest, like Neville doesn't really like think about it, right? If you're saying the old man is popping up, right? Like that means that in your imagination you're distracted. Like think about it. Like when if I'm manifesting an SP, even if I know that they're dating someone, I could hate that person and I can still think lovely thoughts of my SP because like to me it's so alien to have a thought attack me against my will, like that, like to surprise me like that. Like I can never think of my SP and then just like without my will have the third party in my head as an example, right? That never happens. If that does happen, that just tells me, hey, wait a second, I'm just not focused. I'm not genuine. I'm not being genuine when I'm thinking. Like I'm distracted. I'm all over the place. So if you're trying to imagine and you're getting like old ways of thinking popping up that are just popping up and kind of attacking you, in my opinion, it just means you're in a belief system at that moment that would allow those thoughts, but at the same time, it's like you're kind of running away from that belief to try to embody a different state. Instead, I would sit there and be like, first of all, nothing can pop up unless I allow it. So if it's popping up, I've allowed it. So when you're dealing with like old thoughts that pop, and to be honest, sorry, it's kind of like, if you want, give me more context, because it's kind of hard to, when you say the old man, because when you say the old man, it could be a thousand other things. So I'm trying to kind of answer it where it answers most of the things. That's why I'm like all over the place. Um, but I'm gonna assume that your situation is, let's say the old man to you is, there's an issue selling the thing that you're trying to sell, that I know you're trying to sell, or some papers that you don't want to sign. So let's say that's the old man you're referring to, just to make it easier for myself. So if that's the old man that's popping up, then that simply means, remember, where do thoughts come from? Beliefs. So now you know where the thoughts come from, right? So it means in that moment you're distracted, because you're in a belief system that shows you what you don't want, but you're trying to get into a different belief system. So in my opinion, I would personally sit there and first address it. Like, okay, obviously this thing's popping up, so let's deal with it. Why is it popping up? And is it bothering me? If so, why is it bothering me? I have free will, right? So really, like, you're supposed to just look at it and see it for what it is. It popped up because of a belief that I'm in, and let's find this belief that I'm in. Oh, I believe that XYZ. I'm not good enough. Let's just, as an example. Okay, is that true in all realities? Is there no reality that can reflect you being good enough? No. So therefore, that means that it's a choice that you're not good enough. And therefore, you now dissolve the stupid belief. And from there, if you then try to imagine your lovely thing, you're gonna have a lot of easier time, right? But to be honest, I would say it's very rare. I used to see clients that have that issue, in about 4 years. You're the first one in 4 years that's brought that up, to be honest. So now for me, it's like really rare to see that. So it's not common for that to be happening. So I would evaluate, why is that happening? Because for me personally, I never have that happen to myself, right? Ever. And if it does happen, I observe it and I know what it is. I don't react to it, and I just passes on its own, right? So evaluate, are you trying to embody states and think of lovely things when you're in a bad state? If so, that explains why this is happening. Don't run away from your bad states. See it for what it is and dissolve it instead, okay? Michael, what do you think about conditioning manifestations? When you mentioned you needed money to get the first SP, if money didn't come, do you think you would have manifested her? 100%. Like, there's realities where she would have loved me if I was broke or not. She's the type of woman where where she did love me when I was broke. So technically, I did see evidence that it was possible. I just didn't want to believe it because I was an idiot. That's the truth. I was an idiot, and I thought women just wanted money. I thought that that's the only way to keep her happy. I was young. I was stupid back then. And I'm a different man now, so I see things differently. Now I can look back and say, oh, you know what? She did love me unconditionally. It was me who screwed everything up myself, because I wasn't happy with myself, and therefore I sent out signals. So, and you know, that's why for me, like, when I was conditioning my money, the furthest I didn't really condition it. I focused more on feeling that wealth. That was the most conditioning I did, because I didn't want to condition it. I didn't want it to be from a specific thing, because I just knew, listen, God knows best. So for me, I just focused on feeling that wealth. And just like that, the best opportunity popped up for me, the one that my heart wanted the most, without me even asking for it. Like, it was pretty cool. It taught me a lot of things early on. It showed me that higher self, or God, does know what you want without even thinking about it, which is pretty cool. Let's see. And keep in mind, like, there's unlimited realities. There's realities where they would have came back and loved me regardless of the money or not, and there's realities where they would have not came back and been like, "Oh, you need money." Whichever one I experienced would have been my choice. It would have been my own doing. It wouldn't have been her choice. It wouldn't have been her, like, her doing in my personal reality. Sometimes visualizing. Oh, hold on, what is this? It The way I just dropped my phone. Thank God it's not as damaged as Michael's. Okay, you know what? You leave my hold on. I don't know if it'll focus. Leave my cracked phone alone. Hold on. Will this? It doesn't want to focus. It's so broken it won't focus. I'd get it focused. I'm just too lazy, but leave my broken phone alone, okay? Okay? Unless you want to buy me a new one. And actually, no, it's not, I can't even accept that. See, if someone actually did offer me a phone, I wouldn't take it, honestly. But just for this argument's sake, unless you want to buy me a new one, then I don't want to hear it. With your fancy phone over here, making fun of us with non-fancy phones. To be honest, I gotta upgrade it. I'm too lazy. That's what it is. Maybe when it fully breaks, I'll buy a new one. Let's see. What did I miss? Oh yeah, sometimes visualizing many desires together feels a bit distant. So I've been experimenting, asking myself how I would feel if it popped up this week in my current state of life and how it would be. Bruce, that's honestly amazing. And like realistically, if thinking of that then causes that positive reaction, that means you identified with those belief systems that are required to receive that. Remember, gratitude in a sense as well is powerful. What do you think I used when I got my first SP back? I just spammed the hell out of gratitude. I just kept freaking feeling grateful. I was like, oh my God, I'm so grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And just like that, boom, 3 days later, we're together. And, she's hugging me, telling me, I missed you so much. I cried every night and blah, blah, blah. And I didn't know if you moved on and had a different girlfriend or blah, blah, blah. And this whole time I was just like, I freaking missed you the whole time. I just wanted you and only you. What the fuck? Like, sorry, sorry for the kids watching. I was so shocked. I was like, how dare you think that I would move on so fast? Are you kidding me? Like, even in a month, even 2 months, even 3 months, I would never move on that fast. Like, if I did, it would say a lot about me, and it wouldn't be good. Like, that's just the truth. It would show I wasn't even there to begin with. That's just how I am. Let's see. Stop being lazy. You genuinely need to. I know. You know what? Maybe one day when I get married and my wife forces me to get a new phone, I'll do it. But until then, I'm lazy, and I'll enjoy being lazy because apparently it stresses people out that I have a broken phone, and it is what it is. What? Maybe perhaps stop reflecting that I don't change my phone. Maybe see me in a positive light. Think to yourself, "Wow, I'm so glad Michael upgraded his phone. He deserves that." So yeah, exactly. Okay, guys. I got to get going. I have to get ready. I got to prepare. So I think we had a really productive. This was a really fun chat, guys. I really enjoyed this, and I look forward to seeing you guys again. I'm probably gonna pop up sometime this week, so just keep an eye out. I'm glad. I think I now found a way to keep the camera from overheating, which is great. So we're in for some good stuff. And other than that, I'm trying to think. Did I forget anything? Um, no. I have a video coming out soon. Other than that, more content. And yeah, that's it. Sorry, guys. I was just trying to think. Did anything pop up? No, we're good. All right. So I'll see you guys soon. It was a pleasure. And thank you all for being here. And I hope you guys all enjoyed the value of this stream. And yeah, enjoy. I'll see you guys very, very soon. Take care, guys. Goodbye. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you. You too. You too, Ash. And everybody else, enjoy your day. Enjoy the rest of your lovely Sunday and have a wonderful start to your week, guys. Take care. Oops, I clicked the wrong button. Let me do a little heart here. 1 second. Let me do a little heart. Oopsie, I did the wrong thing. You're welcome, Chai. How did you like the live stream, by the way? I hope you enjoyed, being able to ask me questions. And isn't this cool? Think about it. You get to ask me stuff you would have asked me in a phone call, but it's 1/3 of the price. And then you didn't need a phone call for it, right? So that's why I say, like, start with the membership, see it out first. It might save you a lot of money long term. That's why I tell people do the membership first if you feel you need to work with me, because it's 1/3 of the price. And I don't really care about your guys' money. I just rather you guys save money, but at least value the information I gave you. Really take it to heart. So, um, I love that this is helpful. Okay, good. Yeah, this is what it's like. Literally, it's like you get coaching with me, except we're not on a private call. But for 1/3 of the price, I think it's very valuable. So, yeah. So here we go. Okay. Well, anyways, take care, guys. I will see you all very, very soon. And remember, keep your notifications on because I will be popping up spontaneously throughout the week. So that means I'll pop up for 20 minutes, 30 minutes here and there. That means any questions you have for those minutes, spam them and take advantage. Okay, guys. So I will see you all very soon. And yeah, I gotta get going. Okay, bye.